you desire a country? Do you desire a country? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine, you'll find out. You'll find out throughout the class the mindset that we should have being Israelites. Alright? So, I want to show you a video before we get started. I want to show you a video before we get started. Alright, play that.
So if you want to make 6 figures, you can't just be talking about you want to make 6 figures. You hear what I'm saying to you tonight? If you do the 3 things I tell you to do tonight, I guarantee you, whatever it is you want to do in life, you'll be able to do. You will be able to accomplish whatever you want to academically, financially, relationally, whatever. So 3 things. All right, I'm going to tell you the story. I got to get out of here. And the story is about, you guys have probably heard about this before. It was a young man who, you know, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? And he told the guru, you know, I want to be on the same level you're on. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He like, the beach? I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit, should have worn shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he like, this guy crazy. Adrian, he like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He making money, but he crazy. He said, come on out a little further. Came out a little further. It was right at his mouth. My man like, I'm about to go back in here. This God is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man getting scratching, holding him down. I got you. I know you brushed it out, but I got you. He had him held down. I need you for an illustration. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. Somebody answer the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? Lee, I'm looking for a different word though than lip. What's that word? He said, I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you've got to be willing to give up sleep.
All right. So, how many of y'all saw the video before? Okay. You never seen it before? Alright, so if you're in the sports world, you probably seen that video a lot. Alright, but right, you seen it? But I know myself, I take a lot from that. And the mindset, I had that mindset in the world, and a lot of us, you have to take that same mindset in the truth. But he said he said a few things that stand out for me that correlates directly with the truth. The first thing was, it was a guru, and it was a young man that wanted to learn. Y'all remember that, right, in the story? And he told him, he said, okay, you want to make, he said, meet me at the beach at 4 o'clock. He said, I want to make money. Why am I going to the beach? All right? Now, likewise in this truth, a lot of times, the elder men in the truth, they tell the younger men, younger sisters, the older sisters tell the younger sisters something. And the younger person does not quite understand what's trying to get done. True? Sir. Right. But there's a purpose behind it. Y'all understand that? When you come in, you watch the camp videos, you watch the classroom videos, you want to go to the streets, you want to teach, you want to do the radio interviews, you want to be on TV, you want to do all that stuff. But then we say, hey, we need somebody to help with the trash.
Right.
You're like, brother, what? I'm here to make money. You got to understand. Go to Romans 12:7 real quick. There's a process with everything that goes on. All right? Joshua. Who did Joshua minister to? Anybody know? Moses, right? He was a servant unto Moses. You'll see that same pattern throughout all the scriptures. Throughout all the scriptures. All right? Read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 7. Or ministry. Let us wait on our minister.
Let us what?
Let us wait on our minister. Or he that teacheth on teaching. Or he that exhorteth on exhortation.
So, wait on your ministry. Whatever it is that you desire to do, sometimes you can't do it just quite yet. You have to wait on your ministry. I remember when me and Captain Matthias, we was teaching, we was making videos, and then Captain Matthias was like, hey, y'all can't do that yet. It's like, oh, alright, cool. Then when you get a certain rank, now it's like, okay, now you gotta teach 5 o'clock in the morning, you gotta teach at night, you need teachers there, you need teachers there. But when it's your time, I guarantee you there's more than enough work for you to do it if you're sincere. Y'all understand what I'm saying? That's why I say is wait on your ministry. Wait on your ministry. Go to 2 Corinthians 10. Yeah, start at verse 4. 2 Corinthians 10 and 4.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
So we understand that through the scriptures we can bring everything into subjection to the Bible, because the Bible reigns supreme to every doctrine or philosophy on the face of the earth. Read.
And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience.
And having a readiness. And having a readiness to revenge all disobedience. Meaning you're ready to rebuke all sin. All wickedness. When?
When your obedience is fulfilled.
When your obedience is fulfilled. Meaning when you have fell in line with the leadership, you've done the things that were required of you. You went to the Men of Valor. You've done the fly missions. You came to camp 101. You shined your boots the correct way. You ironed your shirt. You did the things that were necessary for you to be in a certain position to do what you wanted to do in the beginning. Just like the young man with the guru, he said, come to the beach at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I'll show you if you really want to make money. If you really want to be great. Y'all understand? So, keeping in that same mindset, do you desire a country? Do you desire a country? He said it very simple. He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful. As a nation, the Bible has scriptures, we're going to go through them. But that's the mindset as a nation we have to be at for the kingdom to come. Until that happens, until all of us are striving to bring the kingdom in like we can't breathe, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Meaning when we have leisure time, if you're not applying it scripturally, if you have an opportunity to do the work and we turn it down time after time after time again to fulfill our own lust, it's not going to happen. And I'm going to show you that scripture. That's what I said. Do you really desire a country? Because like he said a lot of people say they want to succeed. A lot of people say that. I say this all the time. In the professional sports, somehow everybody's getting paid. Some are low paid, some are high paid. But at the end of the year, you have some that supersede everybody else, and then you have people that have never come off the bench. Even though they all have the same talent and the same skill level, some are more driven than others. Some actually desire to be an all-pro, others just talk about it. Some of us really desire a country, others just want to sit down and do nothing. And you got to ask yourself, where are you at in that picture? Do you really desire the kingdom on earth, or are you talking about it? Alright? So, let's get started. Go to Matthew 18 and 3. Anytime y'all want to say something, Cap, hopefully y'all good. Alright? Matthew 18 and 3. Start there.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 3. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
So understand, we come into this truth, we understand we Israel, we have to become as little children. Meaning you have to be born again. You have to forget everything that you've been taught. The way you rolled, all that stuff, you got to become a new child. A new child. If not, what did it say?
And ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Understand, until you do that, until you let that old man go, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. It won't happen. It's impossible. And that's why we're going over this class today, because a lot of us are still holding on to our old selves. We haven't gave ourselves up. 1 Peter 2 and verse 1. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice, and all guile, and hypocrisies, and envies, and all evil speaking.
Meaning you letting go of your old self. You're dying to the old things that you dealt with, the old spirits that live within you. Read.
As newborn babes.
As what?
As newborn babes.
As newborn babes. Read.
Desire the sincere milk of the word.
Read.
That ye may grow thereby.
So, until you let go of those old spirits and grab a hold of the new spirits, you're not going to grow. You're going to continue to find yourself in the same position, the same situations that you've been in when you came in the first month. You have to lay hold to the scriptures as a newborn babe and desire the sincere milk. A lot of us don't desire the sincere milk, and we don't desire the kingdom to come. But we're going to go through the scriptures and hopefully we can curb that behavior so we can bring the kingdom in. Because all of us have the same tools. All of us can go in these scriptures and get the understanding. All of us can go to a fly mission. All of us can go to camp. And we have different skill sets within the body, but at what level are we going to apply it? Some of us can edit. Some of us can do high levels of editing. But what are you doing with it? Are you doing nothing with it, or are you applying it to bring in the kingdom? Some of us can teach on different levels, but what are you doing with it? Are you just watching everybody else, or are you trying to bring in the nation of Israel? These are the things that we got to evaluate. Go to 2 Corinthians 5 and 17. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
He is a what?
A new creature.
All right, let me hear from the crowd. Let me hear from the crowd. What does it mean when it says you are a new creature? I want to know. Does that mean we become a six-fingered man? What does that mean? Let me hear Kim. Let me hear Brother Kim in the back.
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom, shalom.
When it says new creature, it's basically saying that you're born again.
Right. Okay, give me an example.
For example, in your old life, you're a drug dealer.
Right.
Don't follow the laws.
Right.
Become a new creature, meaning you don't do that stuff again. You start following the laws.
Good. Good. Correct. Also, I'm gonna go into a few. When you become a new creature, for example, when you have a, what turns into a butterfly? A caterpillar. From a caterpillar to a butterfly, they have a different mindset. Do you think the caterpillar has the same mindset as the butterfly? No, they see things completely different, right? One's on the ground, one's in the sky. One's looked at as beautiful, one's trying to get stepped on all the time. You have a completely different mindset. Likewise, in this truth, that's what has to happen. So if you were slothful in the world, now you got to be diligent. If you were a whoremonger, now you got to try to make sure you are living a honorable marriage. Whatever it is, you have to change. You have to be a new creature. And the things that you were good in the world, if you were diligent, if you're a hard worker, if you were accountable, those traits should carry over into the truth. Now you just have a different purpose behind it. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So I wrote down, I said, when you become a new creature, you have a new passion. Some of us pick up different traits. We have different traits now. You have new goals being a new creature. You have new goals. Alright? So, 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 12. Go ahead.
Also, to add to that, a lot of talents, like if you don't have a talent, like a lot of people struggle with that. You find a talent. Like you have, for an example, Officer Aaron, you never did editing before you. I know you spoke about it. You never done editing before you came in. I know, Brother Kim, you done editing before you came in? A little something, right? Yeah. And I know Officer Anathia has never done editing. Some of the best editors here. Officer Eladot, never done editing. Who else? You have Captain Yon, Captain Zephaniah. All these men, at one point was taught by Bezalel, but they grew these talents. They eventually became able to teach others these talents. And some of the best we have, people that went to school for it, these brothers learned right here in the church. Yep. So, didn't go to school for it, don't have no paperwork, but they best editors. Editing commercials. So if you don't have a talent, you can learn. Don't never limit yourself. You can learn how to do it.
I want to add to that. The sister Shift, where she at? She make garments. Did she do that in the world? Was she a seamstress? No. But now she makes bad garments. Because the spirit of the Lord, if you want to do it, He'll give you that understanding. Alright? But you have to desire. That's why the name of the class is, do you desire a country? Because if you do, you're going to put your hand to the plow. You are going to put your hand to the plow. Another thing, a lot of brothers, Officer David in Tallahassee, he dealt with stuttering. He could not speak. When we first met him, he could not say a few words before he messed up. Yeah, you talked with him a few times too. He still tells me today, he's terrified whenever we used to leave him back. We used to travel and he had to teach the class. But now he teach class, he go to the streets and teach because he desired, he understood, I gotta step up. If I don't, nobody else gonna do it. He had to. He had to. Alright? But the Most High bless you in that. Because you understand, this is your profession. Now I'm becoming a new creature. Alright, read that. 1 Timothy 6.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 12. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life. Whereunto thou art also called. And has professed a good profession.
And has what?
Professed a good profession before many witnesses.
It says, thou hast professed a good profession. Thou hast professed a good profession. I asked this before. You see if y'all paid attention. I always ask the same question. What is the difference between an amateur and a profession? What's the difference? Well, there's many differences, but what's the difference I'm looking for? I gave this answer before. Let me hear Michelle.
One gets paid better.
There you go. One gets paid. Amateurs don't get paid. So that's why it says you profess a good profession. Why? Because you understand there's a payment. Your payment is what, brothers? Eternal life, the kingdom, the country that you desire. So if you're a professional, you understand that you got a payment for whatever it is that you're doing. You understand that. But if you're still an amateur, you don't have that mindset. You're still lazy. You're still not putting your hand to the plow. You're still not focused on the mission. Because you're like, it's just something I do. I mean, it don't matter. It ain't life or death. I ain't getting paid for this. That's your mindset. From there, go to 1 John 2 and verse 15. So we said you profess a good profession. You profess a good profession.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world.
Do what?
Love not the world. Neither the things that are in the world.
So understanding that this is our profession, the other things of the world, they start to fall away. Because you understand, I got to make a choice daily. Whether I'm going to serve the world, I'm going to serve the living God. Am I going to spend my time trying to bring forth the kingdom or trying to fulfill my lust? Read.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
So understand, when you're getting in this debate with yourself, this battle, and you find yourself the world overtaking your time, your energy, your money, the love of the Father is slowly leaving you. That's why I'm gonna ask the leaders, the officers. What scripture I always tell y'all brothers most days of the week? What scripture do I quote? I'm saying that.
Malachi 3, verse 16.
Malachi chapter 3 and verse 16. Now let me see. Who out here in the crowd can tell me what that scripture says? I know Manoah knows. A lot of people don't know. Everybody, should not everybody be raising their hand, Cap? I don't know. I don't know that. That's cool. Everybody should know that one. Yeah. Alright, let me hear y'all tonight.
Prayer of faith. Shalom.
Shalom.
I believe it says, those that fear the Lord communicated daily.
Okay.
Something like
that. Good. That's good enough. Those that fear the Lord, they spoke often one to another. They spake often one to another. Because, what was we at last week? Birmingham? Yeah. When you speak one to another, alright, and the scripture says in 1 John 4:20 says, he that loveth his brother, if he that hateth his brother, well, how can you love God when you don't love the man that's beside you? Y'all understand that, right? Likewise, the way you feed, clothe, communicate with your brother, the Most High says that's how you communicate with Christ. Y'all understand that, right? So when you're not around your brothers that are keeping the commandments, who are you really separating yourself from? Huh? Christ. That's why it says, those that fear the Lord spake often one to another. Because the Spirit of the Lord is amongst us. But when you don't see Christ in each other, you don't want to communicate with your brothers. You want to be separate. You want to love the world. Because you think that's better. Because you don't understand there's a payment for what we are doing here. For what the brothers and sisters are doing all throughout the four corners of the earth. Which is trying to bring about a kingdom. A country. Alright? Read verse 15 again.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Read.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world.
So understand, all those things that we desire, that is of the world. Verse 17.
And the world passeth away.
And the what?
And the world passeth away.
So understand, whenever you are wasting time doing worldly things, there's no payment for that. There's no reward for that. But every time you hand out a flyer, every time you edit a video, every time you sew on fringes, every time you make a garment, every time you cook, you serve for the brothers, there's an angel making remembrance of all of those acts. Every last one of them. I don't know about y'all, but I always tell brothers all the time, I say, I'm just trying to get sins off. That's what I'm trying to do. It says, he that converteth a sinner covereth a multitude of sins. So I want to put myself in that area as much as possible. And it ain't just teaching. It's by you helping, doing different things. Your example. It's a lot of ways you can do that. But when you're wasting time doing other stuff, you're not getting that done. Yes, on that? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Why did Deacon Ithon teach Walking with the Giants 3 times? I can't, one hand.
Deshaun Gregory, we were capable.
Good, that's the answer. He going over the profession, right? So when he's teaching that class, it's to show that we wasn't always late, we was communicating, we had the strength to get the job done. To inspire you brothers to know, hey, this is your bloodline, this is where you come from. I don't even gotta ask nobody else because that was the answer. If somebody would have said just to show what our forefathers was, nah, it wasn't to inspire you that those men is you. So every time you come late, I forgot this. you're not really saying to yourself that you're an Israelite. You're just saying you're African American, Jamaican, Haitian, or Puerto Rican, and you try to keep commandments. You're not saying, nah, I'm an Israelite, these are my forefathers. They roll like this, is how I'm gonna roll. Their diet was like this, I'm gonna try to get my diet like this. So what he's going over is heavy, and as a core, all the classes really connect when you look at it. Don't be surprised the class come on today and they go over something, the same thing he's talking about right now, sometime throughout the class. I've seen that happen so many times. So understand what he's saying, understand who you are, and understand your capabilities. That man taught that class 3 different times, and only one brother knew why he was teaching the class. And to make it even more sad, it was a black shirt brother, not none of the ranking men.
All praises. All right, so understand the things of this world will pass away. Knowing that, do you really desire a kingdom? Do you really desire a kingdom? Because we see the actions, we see the responses. We took 36 hours to get brothers to respond amongst the leaders to a message. That's not desiring a kingdom. Because no military, I remember we had our leadership meeting, we said the #1 most important aspect of war is communication. You can't do nothing in the military without communicating the task to everybody and being on the same page. The first thing they do when they get set up is set up the communication system. It's one of the first things. But in Israel, our communication sucks. Even though we say that we are the nation or the army of Israel. We read Ezekiel 37, an exceeding great army, and then we put a message up and nobody responds for days. The worst thing I hate is a brother responds 2 days later, can't do it. Bruh, they dead. They dead, bruh. It's over with. That's over with. What are you talking about?
He's kidnapped, he's gone.
Right.
He's tied up.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you one of those people that you can't, you respond to something 3 days later, you're like, hey, yeah, I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to do that. Like, bruh, she's gone. That mission is aborted. Because your mindset is not on war. Also, Mike Yell said all the time, a lot of you brothers do not see this thing as a war. When you see it as a war, you have a different mindset. You got to look at your cell phone as if this is the, what's the word, what they call it, the command center. That's what it is. Your phone right now is your command center. That's how you get orders. That's how you figure out what's going on. Where you need it, where the funds need it, where the sisters need it, where the men need it. But y'all don't see it like that. You see it as this is aggravating. Why my phone vibrating so much? I'm gonna silence this chat. Tired of my phone ringing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes for the wives too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes, they be like, oh man, you be on your phone too much or something like that. You gotta remind them, look, this is the way that we communicate. This is the way that we put this thing in order. I can't be with you in person, so hey Cap, I'm gonna reach out to you, I'm gonna call you. There's sometimes, especially coming up through, the ranks as I became, growing in my office, I had to communicate through my cell phone a lot more. And sometimes my wife didn't understand it. And so I had to let her know, look, this is the way that leadership communicates for now. Until we get to the kingdom, and it's now, through the mind and whatnot. But, that's just the way that we do things. So
Exactly. We ain't Christ yet. I ain't got Christ powers. Can't read minds. So you sisters, if you get mad at your husband for being on a phone, I rebuke that spirit in the name of the Lord. Alright? Tell my wife that all the time. I'm not on here playing around, I'm handling business. This is how I handle business. It is what it is. Go ahead.
Hey, and to be real about it, the scriptures say paying labor, right? I'm gonna tell y'all, to me, the Telegram stuff, that is annoying as hell. I don't like taking the messages all the time. He said about the notifications, all my notifications, like the buzzer, the thing that notifies you, is all turned off. So what does it mean I have to do? Every 5-10 minutes I gotta go in there and check. I don't want to hear ding, ding, whatever little thing I have. Ding, 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 ding. So I said, I don't want to hear the ding. I got two options. Look at it when I hear the ding, or just go back to it every 5-10 minutes and just look and see if something's important. When you get up in leadership, you're gonna be in more groups. And I was like, for me, it's so annoying, bro. But I have to look at the messages. And you know why it's annoying? Because 80% of the messages, Shalom, leadership, Most High in Christ bless. Shalom, leadership, Most High in Christ bless. Shalom, the meme, happy Sabbath, salute. Like that's 90% of the messages. Then I find the one, what we supposed to be doing? Okay, let me make sure, but there's no, it's funny because I was talking to your brother outside about that. He was like, I thought the group was for posting videos. How come I see all these Most High in Christ blessed? And then, he's an older brother. And I was like, bro, there's no way around that, bro. You're gonna see that all day. I said, nah, it ain't for posting videos, because those are the two things. Post a video and Shalom, leadership, Most High in Christ bless. You're gonna have to sift through that to find the information, get it ready for the battle, and then you move on from there. But if they can figure a way out to we don't have to do that, hey, all praise to that person. But right now, there's no way to sift through all the Shalom, Most High in Christ blessings. But you have to look at the messages to find out what's going on. To find out if a brother need a ride to go do the work. To find out if somebody needs help. Because if not, we're gonna be looking at you like, this brother don't give a damn. This brother just want the title of a soldier or officer, just to walk around with that 10 on his chest, and that's it.
Absolutely. So, do you desire a kingdom? Mark chapter 6 and verse 30. Now we're going to go through a few examples of our forefathers, because they did desire a kingdom. And then their works speak for themselves. Their work speaks for themselves. Alright, so we're going to read a few of them. Read that.
The book of Mark, chapter 6 and verse 30. And the apostles gathered themselves together unto Jesus and told him all things, both what they had done and what they had taught.
The things that they had done and what they had taught. Just like when brothers come back from camp. We like, hey, how was camp? You like, hey, I did this, I did that. Brother came up, this, that. Hey, all praises. Read.
And he said unto them, come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while.
So they was telling them everything they did. Hey, come into a desert place and let's rest a while. Why?
For there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat.
And they had what?
No leisure so much as to eat.
And they had no leisure so much as to eat. They were doing the work at such a high level that they didn't have time to eat. Meanwhile, we got brothers that live in houses 5 minutes away, oversleep for camp, oversleep for fly missions, and for different things. Brothers knocking on your door, you act like you don't hear it. But our forefathers were doing the work at such a high level that they could not eat, because their hearts and their desire was on raising up the 12 tribes of Israel. Y'all understand that? That's what we got to get back to. And like the officer said, that's why you go over walking with the Giants 3 weeks in a row. So hopefully brother is inspired. I can't wake up. 6 o'clock ain't that hard. My forefathers killed giants. Maybe I can't wake up. That ain't too much of a task. Let's see. I don't know. Keep reading.
Verse 32. And they departed into a desert place by ship privately.
Read.
And the people saw them departing.
So they were trying to leave. They was getting onto the ship privately. They were trying to leave. Read.
And many knew him and ran a foot thither out of all
So
cities.
they saw him and then they started running to the ship. Everybody. Like, oh snap, they're going to the disciples. That's Christ. Running. Read.
And out went them and came together unto him.
So they came right to the ship, talking to him. Read.
And Jesus, when he came out, saw much people.
So he saw all these people came to speak to him. Read.
And was moved with compassion toward them.
And was what?
Moved with compassion toward them. Because they were as sheep, not having a shepherd.
Read.
And he began to teach them many things.
Right. That's the mindset Christ had. He didn't look at them and say, man, I'm tired, slammed the door on the ship and got out. He didn't do that. He looked at them with compassion. He looked at them as sheep without a shepherd. That's the mindset we have to have. That our people are waiting on us. Right. Their hearts are desiring us if we don't get it done, nobody else will. Like today we went to Gifford. I can guarantee you nobody else is going to teach the message that we taught in that city. If we don't do it, nobody else is going to. And we can talk about it, but then we late the next day. We don't show up for certain things. Alright? So that's one example. Go to John 6 and 27. John chapter 6 and verse 27.
The book of John, chapter 6 and verse 27. Labor not for the meat which perisheth.
Labor not for the meat which perisheth. Talking about what? The things of this world. Not telling you to quit your job. Not telling you not to get some overtime. Not telling you that. Don't labor for the meat which perisheth. Read.
But for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life.
But for that meat which endureth to everlasting life. The only thing, it's so funny when cause I'm in the coaching realm. I'm pretty sure Officer Mikey can attest to this too. Coaches always say, when I meet my maker, he's not gonna ask me how many national champions I have. He's not gonna ask me how many Heisman Trophy winners. He's gonna ask me, did I make more disciples? And it's always an old white man that don't teach nobody. But they understand, even them in that carnal mindset, they understand there's a bigger picture of what they are doing. But in Israel, we don't get that sometimes. We think we let the world take us. We worrying about the things of the world more than we worry about this truth. Your job, wife, kid. Understand, your desire, the meat that's going to feed you forever is what you're putting into this truth. Y'all understand that? There's a payment. Remember, it says you have professed a good profession. There's a payment for your labors. Alright, from there, go to Matthew 9 and verse 37. Matthew chapter 9 and verse 37. And I want you to ask yourself, do you really desire a kingdom? Do you really desire a kingdom? Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 9 and verse 37. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
The harvest is plenteous. It's plenteous, but the laborers are few. I was talking with Captain today. We was talking about Martin Luther King coming up next year. We already talking about it. Because we was like, Gifford is going to be a lot of people. In Orlando is going to be a lot of people. In Melbourne is going to be a lot of people. In Daytona is going to be a lot of people. I was like, damn, we need everybody to be there. In every city. We need 10 brothers in each city. But I guarantee you, it's going to be Martin Luther King Day. Hey, where y'all at? Can't find nobody. We only can go to one spot. Because everybody's not desiring the kingdom. Everybody's not in the same mindset of getting the work done. Men of valor, one man show up sometimes. That can't happen. Because we're not desiring a kingdom. You have to desire a kingdom. It's got to be your chief joy. Like he says in Psalms 137. From there, Matthew 13 and 17. Matthew 13 and 17. Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 17. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see.
A lot of our forefathers desired to see this thing that we see. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Paul, they were jailed, prisoned, hung, killed, stoned. They desired to see the days that we're seeing right now. Cap went over it 2 weeks ago on the radio show. The times that we're living in, Lord's will, we will see the end. We're going to see when Christ come back as a big black man with big feet stomping on the world. Those are the times that we're living in. Many prophets desired that. Read it again from the top.
For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them. And to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
You see that? To hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. The understanding that we heard and that we have of the Bible currently, they couldn't comprehend these things. A lot of times, Christ had them all messed up when he quoted the parables. They couldn't understand the words. When he broke down Deuteronomy 28 to the Israelites, they did not get it. They didn't understand what he was saying to them. A lot of people desire to see this. We're seeing the nation of Israel risen from the dead right now. That's what we're seeing. They were desiring that day. And we get to live in that day. And we still not treating it the way we should. We're not treating it the way we should. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 10. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 10. Understanding the times that we live in. I'm going to show you why we don't treat it the way we should.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 10. For Demas has forsaken me.
Demas has forsaken me. Read.
Having loved this present world.
Having what?
Loved this present world.
Because a lot of you brothers and sisters love this present world. You love this present world. And I say that because if you don't love the truth, then you love the present world. Y'all understand that, right? When you're slothful, you're saying you love the condition that you're in. You're not in the mindset that we're trying to get out of here. When you don't communicate, you're saying you love being in captivity. You love the present world. Because I can guarantee you, if I put all of us in shackles, what everybody gonna be thinking about? How the hell we gonna get up out of here? How is it going to happen? I bet you we had a telegram then. I put something in there. What did he say? Which way we gotta move? And which way do we got to? Probably I don't want to be in these shackles no more. But that's why they took the shackles off. Destroyed us. That's why it says, until he have destroyed thee. But that's got to be the mindset. That's got to be the mindset. Why? Because we have the example of the scriptures. We see our forefathers rolling like that in so-called freedom. The disciples had no time to eat. I can't say his name right now, but he worked unto near death. We go get him. Yeah, Philemon. No, it's in Colossians. From there, go to 3 John chapter 1. 3 John chapter 1. Because when you desire a kingdom, you take pride and you have joy in things different than what the world has joy in. People in the world, they take pride in, woo, my team won the championship. Yeah, we did it. My team, we just signed such and such. Did you hear that new album? That's what they take joy in. Yeah, they want an Emmy. This is nonsense. I'm going to show you what you should take joy in being in this truth. Read that. Verse 1.
The book of 3 John, verse 1. The elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, whom I love in the truth.
Who he loved in the truth. Read.
Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers.
Read.
For I rejoice greatly.
For he rejoiced greatly what?
When the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee.
You see that? He rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified. When we get to bring brothers and sisters into the truth, there's no greater joy than that. When we was in Jacksonville a few weeks back, there was a sister there, and she showed up to the school. I text, like every week. I was like, hey, that sister showed up again? That sister showed up again? Because there's no greater joy than that. Knowing that you could possibly have helped save their life. That's what we out here doing. A lot of you brothers and sisters came in because a brother or sister told you about the truth. That should bring joy to you. Read.
Even as thou walkest in the truth.
Read.
I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth.
Right. There's no greater joy than to hear that the brothers and sisters that you teach or become an example to are walking in righteousness. That's got to be your mindset. That's got to be the mindset. Those are the things that bring joy to you. Acts chapter 9. No, not Acts. Let's go to Acts 9 in verse 1. I'm going to show you another example of a brother that was about to work. Even when he was in Rome, he was about to work.
The book of Acts, chapter 9 and verse 1. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired of him.
Hold on. He went to the high priest what?
And desired of him letters to Damascus.
So this is talking about Paul. Alright, when Paul, before he was converted, Paul was zealous for what he believed in. So zealous, he went to the high priest and said, hey, give me some letters so I can go catch some more of these people that are following after Christ. Because that's the mindset he had. He was like, if this is what's right, I'm going 1,000% at it. A lot of us, we know this is the truth. We can't get you to move. He was following falsehoods, but he was going 100%. Read.
And desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem.
Right. So, he was hunting for souls to bring them back to Jerusalem. Now let's see it. And I say that to say this. A lot of us were in the Christian church. And we did a lot of things for the Christian church. Or we were in the world. And we did a lot of things for those so-called brothers and sisters that we loved in the world. Did we keep that same zeal and bring it to the truth? Or did it die off? Now I'm giving you an example. We saw how Paul was in the world. How was he in the truth? Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 25. So Paul was very zealous when he was following after the ways of the Pharisees and the scribes.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 25. Thrice was I beaten with rods.
So the same people that he was getting letters from, they began to beat him. They turned on him. Read.
Once was I stoned.
He got stoned for the truth. So did Paul keep his zeal? Anybody here? Did Paul keep his zeal, brothers?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, he kept his zeal. But now he was doing it in righteousness. Read.
Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day. I have been in the deep, in journeyings often, in perils of water, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen,
Read.
in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren.
So he was enduring trials and tribulations at the highest levels. A lot of us, we have two trials. One is your family. A lot of you moms, she don't want to listen, so you upset about that. Parents and job. But he was dealing with it on really, really high levels. And it never affected his work level. He kept the work at a high level. Because he understood, hey man, I did all this stuff and killing people and trying to put people in jail. I gotta do some good works while Christ woke me up. Because Christ, y'all know Christ literally taught Paul, right? But guess what? Guess who chose each and every one of us? Christ. So guess what? He has those same expectations for each and every one of us. Y'all understand that? The same way Paul felt convicted, because he says it all the time. He's like, hey, ain't nobody teach me. I wasn't taught this of man. Christ taught me this. Likewise, guess what? You wasn't chosen by a man. Christ chose you. He literally chose each and every one of you. You want to let Christ down. Shouldn't want to let Christ down. Alright? Read that, verse 27.
Verse 27. In weariness, in painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness.
In cold and nakedness. No matter what the weather condition, he endured. He was, because guess what? Paul desired a country. He wasn't just talking about it. Walking all these different places in ships, going all these, he was trying to bring the 12 tribes of Israel back together. He understood the mission. Alright, from there, go to Micah chapter 4 and verse 10.
The book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion.
So it says, be in pain. Be in pain and what?
And labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion.
Meaning, guess what? It's not always going to be comfortable doing this work. You're going to be put in some uncomfortable situations. Not saying that you at camp with a boot on, or that your neck can't turn. Not saying that. Your time is going to be stressed. Your funds are going to be stressed. Your family life is going to be stressed. A lot of different things are going to happen. But it says, be in pain, and while you in that pain, labor. Labor. I've been reading a lot of books about companies, and a lot of times these companies, the moment they make their breakthrough is right when the company was about to fail. That's when they make their breakthrough. It's just like, y'all ever heard the story about the man that's swimming across the lake, and he get 3/4 of the way, and he looked, and he said, I can't finish, and then he tried to swim back, and he died? Finish the course. Finish the course. But a lot of us, we like to fail. We like to quit. We like to turn back. Can't have that mindset. Can't have that mindset. Read that scripture again.
The book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon.
So it says, like a woman in travail, like a woman gives birth, right? Months, but about 2 or 3 months, or 3 or 4, 5 months before, what starts happening with the child? What do a woman start having? Contractions. Way before it even the real thing happened, it started having contractions, or what they call Braxton Hicks. Right? That's right, right? Alright, you know, I don't have 4 children, so I'm getting pretty, they might call me a doula, you know, so I'm learning. Alright? But before you actually get to the main event, there's going to be stress before you get there. Y'all understand? Likewise, in this truth, before you get to whatever you desire, you're going to go through trials and tribulations, but you got to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing through whatever it is that you're going through.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
Pull up the definition of desire, and then I want you to pull up this picture real quick. Because we use the word desire a lot, but I want to pull a little bit more meat off the bone with the word desire in itself. Okay? Read that. What do we got? Desire.
Desire, a strong feeling.
A what?
A strong feeling.
A strong feeling, come on.
Of wanting to have something, or wishing for something to happen.
Or wishing for something to happen. I don't like that part. I got a manager at work. She said wishing or hoping is a bad strategy to make something happen. You got to put in the work. You can't just wish. But it says a strong feeling of wanting something to happen. Let's get some synonyms. Where we at? Let's go down. Come on. Where the synonyms at? Yep, read some of those.
Synonyms: wish, want, fancy, inclination, aspiration, impulse, preference, yearning.
Yearning, come on.
Longing.
Longing, come on.
Craving.
Craving. Come on.
Hunger, thirst, itch.
It said hunger and thirst. What did he say on the video? He said, as much as you want to breathe. Some of us, we want to eat more than we want to put in this truth. Some of us want to sleep. Want to sleep more than we want to put in this truth. He said when you want to, what does he say, work? When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then we'll be successful. That goes into one word. It's called mindset. Can I get a couple scripts? Yeah. No. Let's get Luke chapter 8, verse 17. Luke chapter 8, verse 17. Succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. It's talking about mindset. Because even as an athlete myself back in the day, right? It was what we did when we weren't in the game. What we did outside of practice that made us a little bit more stronger or faster than the other people on the team. There was plenty of times the coach said, hey, in the off season when you're not playing football, run track. A lot of people didn't want to run track. All right, but then those who did, they were better on the field. Okay, let's get that.
The book of Luke, chapter 8 and verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Right, so the scripture said anything, there's nothing that can be hid. So that also goes into what? Your wisdom. When you're studying, when you're doing things on your own outside of the Sabbath, guess what? When it's time to put in that work into this truth, your wisdom and your skill is going to come forth. Right? Let's get that in Sirach 6 and verse 37. Sirach chapter 6 verse 37, just to show you.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiastes, chapter 6 and verse 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually.
Meditate continually, even outside of the Sabbath. Come on.
In his commandments. He shall establish thine heart, and give thee wisdom at thine own desire.
At thine own what?
At thine own desire.
At thine own desire. That's what we're going into. If you crave this truth, if you crave getting out of here, if you have that yearning as bad as you want to breathe, then we will be successful as a nation. You will be successful as a brother. When it's time to go up and teach, when it's time for you to minister, the Lord's going to say, all right, you don't have to think about it. It's just going to come to you. Just talk. Just talk about what's going on in the families in Israel. Talk about what you see on the news. Talk about what's going on in the streets. He'll give it to you at your own desire. And that's the difference between us and the nations. What is Esau known for? This is my last one. What is Esau known for? Esau. Besides murder, what are they known for? What is America known for? Let me see a hand. Right here. Right here. The brother Azrael.
Shalom leadership.
Shalom.
Unity.
Esau's known, okay, yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, they come together to get us, a whole nation. Alright, that's good. What else are they known for? Like one more brother. Akin.
Taking other people's land.
Taking other people's land, alright, unity taking. They're known for their money, their riches, their resources. America is a superpower, the greatest, the richest nation on earth, right? Now, what is Israel known for? I just say it. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 10, verse 30. Sirach, chapter 10, verse 30.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 30.
Come on.
The poor man is honored for his skill.
The poor man, which represents us in this nation, is honored for our skills. How? We come up with the stoplight. We come up with whiskey. We come up with peanut butter. We come up with the open heart surgeries, the splitting of Siamese twins. We're honored for our skills. Just like when we come into this truth. You want to learn, you want to grow through the ranks, you want to become more successful in your office. Guess what? We got to put in that time when nobody's watching. Your honor and your skills. Read.
And the rich man is honored for his riches.
And Esau is honored for his riches. He got enough money to put you to death and then take your patent. You understand? But in this truth, nobody can take that skill that the Most High put into you away from you. You understand that? So, I just wanted to bring that up.
Go to Titus chapter 2 and verse 13. Alright? Titus chapter 2 and verse 13.
The book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 13. Looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great God.
Right, that should be our mindset. Waiting on that blessed day when Christ cracked the sky. Read.
And our Savior Jesus Christ, who have gave himself for us.
Who what?
Who have gave himself for us.
Christ gave himself for us. Read.
That he might redeem us from all iniquity.
Right.
And purify unto himself a peculiar people. Zealous of good works.
They are what?
Zealous of good works.
We have to be a peculiar people that are zealous of good works. Meaning you are never satisfied with doing the works of the Most High. Never satisfied. You always want more. You're like, what more can I do to help the body? How can I help push this truth to a high level? Because Christ paid a high price for us. Anybody ever paid for something expensive or nice? Okay, 2 brothers, all right. Man, only 2 brothers ever had anything nice in their life. Let me check y'all shoes. Who got Jordans on there? I know y'all got Jordans. Black people pay for expensive stuff, so I ain't buying that. Whoever paid for something nice in their life. Okay, there we go, good. Now, when you pay for something that has a good price, you want it to produce at a high level, do you not? Right, guess what? All All of us were bought at a high price. Bloodshed. Death. Yeah. Crucifix. Right.
Knowing what's gonna happen to you.
Right. And he knew what was going to happen.
That's right there. It's crazy.
Nails all through his body. Lashes. So he's looking down. He's like, hey, man. Yeah.
Hey, can you imagine that? He going to the Old Testament. Yeah, that's talking about me right there. You back to your step. How he gonna get whipped and beat? And he knows that's talking about him. That's the high price to know, because we don't know how we're going to die. If we knew how we're going to die, we'll be walking way different. Christ knew exactly what was going to happen to him, how he's going to sit down in the chair, put a blindfold, punch in the face a bunch of times.
Beard ripped off of him.
Beard, that thing, come on, that thing might have hurt right there, getting the beard ripped out. But knowing it's going to happen though, think about that. Knowing it's going to happen to you. And it's for us, that's the thing. All for his people. There's something heavy to think about, knowing how you're going to die.
Right. And he told us what he wants from us. Read that again. Zealous of what?
Zealous of good works.
Zealous of good works. 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 2. So we have to be excited. We have to be zealous. It has to be joyful to do the work. I wake up in the morning. I'm the exact opposite of Officer Mikey L. I can't wait to check my telegram. I'm like, dang, what's going on today? What we got going on today? What can I put my hand to the plow with? What we need? What's the order coming out today? That's my desire. That's all I want to do, to push the truth. That's it. Read that.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 2. And all his brethren helped him.
And all his brethren helped him. Read.
And so did all they that held with his father. And they fought with cheerfulness.
And they did what?
Fought with cheerfulness.
And they fought with cheerfulness. What?
The battle of Israel.
They fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. It wasn't a burden to the brothers because they understood what they were fighting for. They saw their country being taken from them. They saw their lands being pillaged, the temple being broken down. It was a joyful thing. And some of you brothers had that natural joy, but some of you, I think it's a burden. It's like, dang, bro, why you show up? It should be a joy to be able to do this. You are doing something I talk about all the time with Captain Yadin. We are the superheroes. Any of y'all saw Captain Isaac class that he did on the IFOs? I saw a few sisters posted it. Right. All that is about us. All that stuff is about us. When you read about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, we are those people today. We are those people. They understand, they are high up in some tower, there's some white guy saying, hey, what are we going to do about these things? What are we going to do? How can we stop them? You got to take pride. It's like when you're the best player on the team. You're like, yeah, they trying to figure out a plan to stop me. They can't stop me. Ain't nothing you can do. Like Jordan, it's like when there was a quote, Jordan used to say, when the ball is at my hand, when the ball is in my hand, you at my mercy. That's how we is. That's how the Israelites are. There ain't nothing nobody can do to stop us. So you should fight this thing with cheerfulness. Especially being in a body of believers. Because y'all understand, if one of us fall, everybody in this room got you. So you can fight without fear. You can serve the Lord without fear. Alright? From there, go to Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. In verse 2. I'm going to read 1 and 2. Almost done. We got 3 more scriptures.
The book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there, in the church was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers.
Certain prophets and teachers.
As Barnabas and Simeon that was called Niger.
Why we always do that? Nick, read.
And Lucius and Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul.
Read.
And they ministered to the Lord.
As they ministered to the Lord,
they and fasted. The Holy Ghost said, separate me, Barnabas and Saul, for the work whereunto I have called them.
So these men were set apart for the work of the Lord. Y'all gotta understand how heavy that is. Because it said there were many prophets and teachers. But he said, set apart me Barnabas and Saul for the work of the Lord. Understand, y'all are not called to sit here and do nothing. That's not your calling. Every time he wake us up, it's to do the work. Look at all the prophets. He didn't say, hey, wake up Ezekiel. All right, now you go sit over there and don't do nothing. No. It was for the work of the Lord. All right, from there, go to Acts 15 and verse 1. Acts chapter 15 and verse 1.
The book of Acts chapter 15 and verse 1. And certain men which came down from Judea taught the brethren and said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved.
I would ask y'all this, but I ain't gonna ask y'all this right now. I know Captain gonna go into the Acts breakdown if y'all get this wrong. Alright, I wanna finish the class. Go ahead, keep reading.
When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question.
So they had a question. They had a question, but they were teaching a lot of people. Read.
And being brought on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles.
So they went through this city and they would tell them, hey, we was converting all these Gentiles. Read.
And they caused great joy.
And they what?
Caused great joy.
And they caused what?
Great joy unto all the brethren.
There was a great joy amongst the brethren whenever they were converting the souls. That is a joyous thing. Alright? That's gotta be how we are in this truth. But a lot of times, like I said, some of us had a natural joy. Some of you gotta learn it, but that's why I'm going through the script. I'm showing you. This is how our forefathers ruled. They were excited at that thing. They were excited to bring repentant Israelites into the building, to teach them the correct way, to bring them out of the lives that they were living. Alright? Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 13. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 13.
The book of Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 13. These all died in faith.
These all died in faith. Talking about who? Who is this talking about? These all died in faith. Who can tell me? Who can tell me? Who can tell me? Manoah.
Apostles.
Right? The apostles who else?
Everyone had faith in Christ.
What? You had the apostles, who else?
Prophets.
There you go, the prophets. Right? Anybody know, and they call it Hebrews 11, what do they call that chapter? Anybody never been in Christianity? No? You don't know what they call it? Something like, what, you know what they call it? Nobody know what chapter 11 is called, Hebrews 11?
I was only at your church.
Where'd you at? Yeah, it's something like they call like heroes of faith or whatnot, because they go through all our forefathers who have faith. Alright? Hebrews 11, it goes, No, yeah. Creflo talk. Alright? But Hebrews 11, it goes into faith. That chapter is all about faith. Alright? All about faith. So when it says these all died in faith, when you read the chapter, it goes into our forefathers. Alright, keep reading.
Not having received the promises.
Not having received the promises. What didn't they receive? So did Elijah.
The kingdom.
They never received the kingdom, the true kingdom. They never received it. Read.
But having seen them afar off.
But they saw it afar off. Read.
And were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth.
They seen it afar off. And they confessed that they were what?
Strangers and pilgrims on the earth.
Right. When they confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims upon the earth, what were they saying? What was their mindset on what they had at the moment? Let me hear Elijah again.
And we're not in no kingdom, we're not on country land.
There you go. There you go. They were admitting that this is not our rest. That's why their faith was so strong. They're like, hey man, there's something greater for us than this. That's why they could teach with such passion. They were willing to die for it because they knew that there was something greater. Read.
For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country.
Right, because for you to have that level of faith, you gotta declare plainly. You gotta understand what your mission is. The vision has to be crystal clear of what you desire. And that was a country. And the mission hasn't changed. Read.
And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned.
Read.
But now they desire a better country.
But now they desire a better country. Because who is that talking about? They, when it says, but now they. Who's the they? Let me hear Hananiah, Soldier Hananiah.
The they is talking about us. Now we desire a better country.
Right. But in verse 13 it says these all died in faith. So what is it saying?
That they back on the earth.
There you go. There you go. We the same people. We the same people back on the earth again. Alright, read that again, verse 16.
But now they desire a better country, that is an heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God. For he hath prepared for them a city.
Right, he hath prepared for them a city. 2nd Ezra 16 and 40. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40. So we got to measure. Do we really desire a country? And that's for you to answer amongst yourself. Do you truly desire a country? And if not, you should change your actions so that it shows forth that you do desire a country. Read that.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Right. Be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Meaning what? You don't really care where you're at and what's your status on this earth. You don't care. You're like, I'm just here for a short time and then I'm out. This is not my rest. This is just what I'm doing right now and then I'm out. In the words of Offset and Thigh, my favorite quote, that thing was bad. Said, I don't go to work till I clock out. Gosh darn, that thing is heavy. That thing is heavy. That's got to be the mindset. Got to be pilgrims upon the earth. Zechariah chapter 8, and let's start at verse 1 and we're going to jump around.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 8 and verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and I will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and a mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain.
So, this is a future prophecy. This is what's going to happen to Jerusalem, to Israel again. Read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls, playing in the streets thereof.
Right, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, saith the Lord of hosts.
So he's saying, if it's marvelous in your eyes, don't you think it's going to be marvelous in my eyes? Because you all are my creation. Read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth and in righteousness.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, which were in the day that the foundation of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built.
Read.
For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beasts. Neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in because of the affliction. For I set all men, every one against his neighbor.
Read.
But now I will not be unto the residue of this people as in the former days.
So he's going to turn the curses around. That's why we're waking up now. Read.
Saith the Lord of hosts, for the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground she shall give her increase.
Right, because right now the fruits, the vegetables, they're not the size they should be. It's going to get back to normal. It's going to get back normal. Read.
And the heavens shall give their due. And I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all these things.
And all these things are going to happen for us. Read.
And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you. And ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong.
Let your hands be strong, understanding the prophecies and what the Most High is going to do for us. Read.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, as I thought to punish you, when your fathers provoked me to wrath, saith the Lord of hosts, and I repented not.
Read.
So again have I thought in these days to dwell unto Jerusalem.
To do well unto Jerusalem.
To do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear ye not.
Read.
These are the things that ye shall do.
These are the things that ye shall do, understanding what the prophecies behold us. Read.
Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates.
Read.
And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor.
Read.
And love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, saith the Lord.
Read.
And the word of the Lord of hosts came unto me, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the fast of the fourth month.
The fast of the fourth month.
And the fast of the fifth.
The fast of the fifth.
And the fast of the seventh. And the fast of the 10th.
So that's just like now. We have fast what? Every month. Because we in captivity. So we fasting, trying to speed up the time. Read.
Shall be to the house of Judah joy and gladness.
So when the kingdom returns, those days that we're fasting, they're going to be as joy and gladness. Read.
And cheerful feast.
And what?
Cheerful feast. Therefore, love the truth.
Therefore what?
Love the truth.
Because of these things, God is telling us to love this truth. Read.
And peace.
And peace.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are the Israelites.
It's so hard to serve God. And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd. For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.